Have you ever noticed how the moments that stay with us the longest aren't the ones where we received something, but the ones where we gave? There's a hidden power in generosity that most people overlook, a force that not only transforms others, but elevates your own life in ways you'd never expect. Stay with me until the end, because today we're breaking down how giving doesn't drain you, it multiplies you. And once you understand this, you'll never see contribution the same way again. 1. Giving activates abundance. Giving is one of the most powerful principles of abundance because it initiates a cycle of flow that transforms both the giver and the receiver. When you choose to give, whether it is time, money, kindness, compassion, or support, you are making a statement to yourself and to life itself, that you trust there is enough, that you are not confined by scarcity, and that your value is not reduced by contribution. Instead of clinging to what you have out of fear, giving moves you into a state of expansion, signaling that you believe in the continual replenishment of resources. This mental and energetic shift is subtle but profound. It is as though you switch from holding your hands tightly closed to opening them wide, which not only allows you to offer something outward, but also creates the space for new blessings to return. Many people misunderstand giving as a subtraction from their own well-being, imagining that when they give, they have less. But the truth is that giving is circulation, not depletion. Just as blood must circulate for the body to thrive, resources must move for life to flourish. Stagnation, whether emotional, financial, or spiritual, comes from fear, hoarding, and scarcity, while abundance is born from openness, generosity, and flow. When you give, you activate a law as ancient as humanity. What you send out expands. Giving also strengthens your identity. When you give, you are no longer someone who is deprived or lacking. You're someone with something to offer. This identity empowers you, builds confidence, and invites the universe to meet you at that higher level of self-perception. People often wait until they have enough to give, but the paradox is that giving is what helps you realize how much you already have. It disrupts the illusion of insufficiency and reconnects you with your inner abundance, which is far more powerful than any material possession. Giving also opens relational abundance. People feel safer with you, more inspired by you, more connected to you. Generosity builds trust, deepens bonds, and creates a field of goodwill that often returns to you in unexpected ways. Even on a practical level, giving strengthens communities, elevates others, and expands opportunities for everyone involved. When people uplift each other, the overall environment becomes richer, more supportive, and more fertile for shared success. Giving is not merely an action. It is a declaration that you choose possibility over fear, expansion over contraction, and abundance over scarcity. It is a reminder that wealth, in all its forms, grows through circulation. When you operate with a giving spirit, you tell the universe, "I have enough to share," and life responds by giving you even more reasons to remain open, generous, and abundant. 2. Gratitude mindset. A gratitude mindset is the fertile soil from which true generosity grows, because gratitude shifts your perception from what is missing to what is present, from lack to fullness. When your heart is grounded in gratitude, giving becomes a natural extension of your awareness rather than an obligation or a forced act. Gratitude reminds you daily that life has already provided you with countless gifts, some big, some small, some seen, others felt. And this awareness dissolves the fear that you don't have enough. When you appreciate what you have, you stop clinging to it. You stop protecting it with anxious hands. Instead, you begin to recognize that life has supported you in transformative ways, often beyond what you consciously noticed. Moments of kindness, unexpected opportunities, doors that opened, lessons that strengthened you, challenges that shaped you, and blessings that unfolded quietly in the background. A grateful heart sees abundance everywhere. This shift in perception makes it easier to uplift others because gratitude teaches you that giving is not losing. It is participating in the same flow that brought blessings into your own life. Gratitude also sharpens your awareness of opportunities to contribute. When you are grateful, you notice someone else's struggle more quickly because you're not trapped in your own lack-based thinking. You see where you can help, where your strengths apply, where your compassion matters. Gratitude magnifies empathy, turning giving into both a joy and a privilege. Instead of saying, "I have to give," gratitude says, "I get to give." This small shift changes everything. Gratitude also has a powerful impact on emotional and mental well-being. It reduces envy, comparison, and resentment, all feelings that block generosity. A grateful person doesn't fear someone else's success, nor do they withhold support out of insecurity. Gratitude dissolves the ego's need to measure and compete, replaces it with appreciation, and reveals that the more we celebrate and support each other, the richer life becomes for everyone. Furthermore, gratitude strengthens your inner stability. When you consistently acknowledge the blessings in your life, you develop a sense of security that does not depend on external conditions. This inner stability makes giving easier because you no longer tie your identity to accumulation. You know who you are, and you trust the flow of life. Gratitude also deepens spiritual abundance. It aligns your energy with receiving and giving in harmony, reinforcing the idea that life is constantly moving and unfolding with purpose. Those who cultivate gratitude often find that their lives expand effortlessly, not because they chase abundance, but because they recognize it. And in recognizing it, they naturally become channels for it. Gratitude makes space for generosity, not through pressure, but through clarity. When you see how blessed you are, you want others to feel blessed too. You want to share joy, wisdom, kindness, and support because your own heart is full. A grateful mindset transforms giving from a transaction into a celebration. It becomes an expression of the wealth you feel internally, a wealth that does not diminish when shared, but multiplies. 3. Share knowledge. Sharing knowledge is one of the most impactful forms of giving because it has the power to change the trajectory of a person's life in ways that material resources often cannot. Knowledge opens doors, removes obstacles, shortens learning curves, and expands horizons. When you share what you know, lessons learned, mistakes made, insights gained, you offer someone a shortcut through the very challenges that once tested you, and this gift costs you nothing. It does not diminish your own understanding, rather, it strengthens it. Teaching something clarifies it within yourself, reinforces your mastery, and deepens your awareness. In many ways, knowledge expands when shared. Throughout history, the greatest advancements in humanity came from individuals who were willing to pass on what they had discovered so others could build upon it. This pattern continues today in mentorship, coaching, community guidance, and everyday conversations. When you choose to mentor someone, offer advice, or share an insight, you are participating in this timeless chain of human progress. You never know how far your influence will ripple. Your insight may spark someone else's innovation. Your story may give someone courage. Your guidance may alter someone's career, and your honesty about your mistakes may save someone from years of struggle. Sharing knowledge is also an act of generosity because it requires vulnerability. You must be willing to reveal your experiences, your failures, and your wisdom without pride or fear of judgment. This honesty creates trust and connection. It reminds others that growth is a shared journey, not a solitary climb. You become a lighthouse instead of a fortress, someone whose light guides others rather than someone who hides their knowledge as if it were treasure to protect. In a world where many guard their expertise to secure status or advantage, choosing to teach becomes a radical act of abundance. It communicates that there is more than enough success, opportunity, and wisdom for everyone. This mindset creates communities of collaboration rather than competition. Moreover, when you share knowledge, you empower others to become creators, problem solvers, and contributors in their own right. You help them discover their strengths, refine their vision, and navigate their challenges with more confidence. Your insight becomes a seed planted in their journey, one that may grow into something extraordinary. Knowledge sharing also amplifies your legacy. Material possessions fade, but ideas, lessons, and influence can outlive you. They continue shaping lives long after you've moved on. Every person you teach carries your wisdom into their own sphere of influence, passing it forward to countless others. In this way, sharing knowledge is a form of immortality. Additionally, when you give knowledge, you also create abundance for yourself. You attract networks, relationships, opportunities, and collaborations that would never appear if you remain silent. People trust and value those who uplift them. They remember those who invested in their growth. Sharing knowledge also cultivates humility. It reminds you that you were once a beginner, that you received guidance too, and that growth is an ongoing journey. When you teach, you honor the people who helped you become who you are. Ultimately, sharing knowledge is a gift that grows in every direction. It elevates others, strengthens communities, expands your influence, and reinforces your own understanding. It is a contribution that not only improves individual lives but enriches the world. And the more generously you share what you know, the more life finds ways to return wisdom and opportunities to you in ever greater abundance. 4. Philanthropy habits. Philanthropy is often portrayed as something reserved for the ultra-wealthy. Grand donations, foundations, and large-scale contributions that make headlines. But real philanthropy is not about the size of the gift. It is about the spirit behind it. At its core, generosity is a habit, a mindset, and a way of approaching the world. You don't need millions to be philanthropic. You simply need the willingness to give consistently in ways that matter. When you develop the habit of offering what you can, whether it's a small amount of money, a bit of your time, or even a moment of compassion, you contribute to a cycle of kindness that extends far beyond your immediate actions. Philanthropy begins with noticing. It begins with seeing the needs of others, recognizing the struggles and burdens that people carry, and understanding that even a small gesture can lighten someone's load. Perhaps you choose to donate a modest sum to an organization you admire, not because it will solve every problem, but because you believe in the cause and want to be part of the solution. Or maybe you volunteer an hour a week at a local school, community center, or shelter, offering your presence and energy where they are needed. These acts may seem small in isolation, but when repeated consistently, they accumulate into something powerful. They shape your identity, align your actions with your values, and show the world that generosity is not measured in grand gestures, but in steady commitment. Philanthropy habits also shift your perspective. Instead of viewing giving as a sacrifice, you begin to see it as an expression of abundance. You realize that generosity does not diminish you, it expands you. It deepens your connection to your community and nurtures a sense of purpose that material possessions alone cannot provide. And as your capacity grows, financially, emotionally, spiritually, so does your ability to give. The habit of generosity plants seeds that blossom over time. teaching you that philanthropy is not about waiting until you have more. It is about doing what you can, where you are, with what you already have. This kind of consistent generosity is transformative. It transforms you, it transforms the people you touch, and it transforms the culture around you. A world built on small, steady acts of kindness is a world where compassion becomes the norm, not the exception. 5. Lift others up. To lift others up is to recognize that success is not a limited resource and that someone else's rise does not threaten your own. In a world often driven by competition, comparison, and ego, choosing to be a source of encouragement is an act of both courage and wisdom. When you offer genuine support to those around you, celebrating their victories, helping them through challenges, or simply believing in their potential, you create an environment where growth is shared rather than hoarded. Being the person who lifts others up means practicing empathy, seeing people not just for who they are today, but for who they could become tomorrow. Sometimes a single word of encouragement can change the trajectory of someone's life. Sometimes a small opportunity, a recommendation, a bit of advice, or a reminder of their strengths can give someone the push they need to keep going. And when you lift others, you strengthen yourself. Encouraging someone else does not dim your own light. It actually amplifies it. It positions you as a leader, a mentor, and a positive force. It builds deep relationships rooted in trust and mutual respect. And it aligns you with a mindset of abundance, believing that there is room for everyone to succeed. Lifting others is not only about grand gestures. It is just as much about everyday actions. It's choosing not to speak negatively about others, even when it's easy. It's offering sincere praise without expecting anything in return. It's acknowledging someone's effort, progress, or courage when they might not see it in themselves. When you elevate someone else, you elevate your community. You create ripple effects that extend outward, influencing people you may never meet. Encouragement can be infectious in the best way. A person who feels supported becomes more confident, more generous, and more likely to lift others themselves, creating a chain of uplift that strengthens the fabric of society. And the beauty of lifting others is that it reflects back to you. When you help someone grow, you grow too, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. You contribute to a world where collaboration replaces competition, and where success is something shared rather than defended. Ultimately, to lift others up is to choose kindness over ego, abundance over scarcity, and unity over division. It is one of the most powerful ways to create positive change, one person at a time. 6. Wealth amplifies generosity. Wealth is often misunderstood as something that fundamentally changes people, but in truth, wealth tends to magnify what is already within you. If you are generous without much, you will be even more generous with abundance. If you are selfish with little, money will only make that selfishness more visible. This is why cultivating intention, character, and purpose is essential as you pursue financial growth. Wealth simply gives you a larger stage on which to express who you already are. When approached with awareness and integrity, wealth becomes a powerful tool for doing good. It gives you options, flexibility, and reach. It allows you to support causes in meaningful, transformative ways, not just through small contributions, but through initiatives that create lasting impact. Whether it is funding scholarships, building community programs, supporting local entrepreneurs, investing in sustainable solutions, or responding quickly to crises, wealth expands your capacity to help. But the true value lies in the intention behind the giving. Money itself is neutral. It is the human heart that directs it towards selfishness or service. When you cultivate wealth with the mindset of stewardship rather than possession, you begin to view your resources not as something to hoard, but as something to channel. You recognize that the more you grow, the more you can give, not only financially, but also through influence, knowledge, and leadership. Wealth also amplifies your voice. It gives you the ability to champion causes, to draw attention to injustices, and to advocate for change. It allows you to lead by example, showing others what responsible prosperity looks like. When you build wealth intentionally, you create a foundation that supports not only your own life, but the lives of countless others. You become part of a larger cycle of impact, where generosity fuels abundance, and abundance fuels more generosity. And as your generosity grows, so does your sense of fulfillment. Giving at scale is not just an act of charity. It becomes a profound expression of purpose. It aligns your success with the well-being of others and transforms wealth from a personal asset into a collective blessing. The more you grow, the more good you can do. And when your wealth is guided by values, compassion, and vision, it becomes a force that shapes not only your future, but the future of everyone touched by your generosity. The more you give, the more life gives back. Contribution isn't just an action, it's a pathway to expansion. Give more, grow more, and watch your world transform.